we are really, really impressed, moved every time we hear about the new achievements of this council. Every time we hear about the new media that have joined your ranks. And every time we see how important it is to Canadians across the board, not just in our big cities, everywhere across the country, to have access to the voices and the stories that you are conveying. Because in your title, and it's a long title, the most important word for me is national. The media world, as you all know, and as students here at Seneca could tell us, as any journalist we care to talk about here or in media that are not part of your council will tell us, it's changing. It's a changing field. And we don't know how this digital revolution will play out, how people will receive their news in 10 years, in 20 years. We're depending on all of you to find out. But what we do know is that they will want the kind of news, the kind of cultural variety, the kind of direct connection to community, not just here and across Canada, but around the world that you are able to offer. And so as your minister, new minister of citizenship and immigration, let me thank you for the partnership that we have in telling people the story of our immigration programs, making sure that they understand the opportunities that are there, making sure they know that in this year just ending, we will have brought the largest number of parents and grandparents to Canada in Canadian history. We're at 53,000. And that we will do more of that next year, combined with a new focus on our economic immigration, combined with the launch of the Expression of Interest program in early 2015, which will be yet another revolution in our immigration. And make no mistake, we all know that your significance reaches well beyond the borders of Canada. The national role you have here is unmistakable. It's growing. We're passionate about it. We believe in it. But when you talk to Tamil media, or you talk to Sikh media in Canada, or you talk to any number of the talented journalists here who are speaking out for very large diaspora communities by global standards, or for countries where there is no media freedom at home, and that is increasingly the case, you have a tremendous role to play in keeping the lights of honesty and truth burning, not just here at home, but around the world, delivering messages that can make the difference between life and death for people around the world. I've seen it happen firsthand in countries in the throes of transition and conflict. And we want you to play that role, because we know as Canada, we are strong with a principled foreign policy, with a focus on freedom, democracy, human rights, and the rule of law, only when we're able to project those messages and to reach those audiences quickly, seamlessly, and in the languages that the message needs to be spoken in. So, in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for including me tonight. Yes, Selma is herself an immigrant, born in Denmark. My wife, who's not here, is Danish. I don't know if there are any Danish media in the country, but maybe we can work on that. My wife will find you if you're out there. I had the honor of serving in Afghanistan for 6 years and in Russia for a long time, so I feel very connected to some of you, to many of you, in intimate ways. Thank you for the work we've done already in recent months on citizenship and immigration. And if there are two messages I would like to leave you with, they're these. First, if there's one lesson that we have all learned, Melissa was part of it, Jeff, many others who are part of Jason Kenney's team, and some are still with my team, saw it happen. In changing and adding to the value that Canadians attach to citizenship through the Discover Canada Guide, through the ceremony, through the slightly more demanding but more meaningful process that Canadians are going through now to become citizens, we have found how passionate newcomers are about Canadian history. How much they do want to know what this city was like, Markham or Toronto, 100 years ago, 200 years ago. Why is it that we've had peace for 200 years and others have not? Why is it that we have lived in a Parliament of Canada since 1791 successfully in 2 languages and had the best interpretation and had the best bicultural understanding despite the referenda, Tony, yes, and other moments. It's a fascinating story. It's a story that's relevant, obviously, to all of us. It's a story that's relevant to the whole world. And yes, we all have a role to play, you and me, in safeguarding that sacred legacy of diversity, of bilingualism, of multiculturalism, of multilingualism and pluralism, that we are living in a more vibrant and vivid way, a more successful way than any other country around the world. I know you're proud of it. Let's continue the partnership, and merci beaucoup de cette invitation pour ce temps.
Well, with his help and his advocacy, we managed to get some money to organize this event. And as new immigrants and some of us new citizens, they were recognizing this service, and we are going to name you. And Cavaliere is Cavaliere. We don't want to. You have your wife and your beautiful daughter. So you are going to be effective immediately a member of the board, an honorary member of the board. I hope next time you are moving to take the presidency and let me get out. Go down.